Blessings everyone, Pagan here. A little bit late in the day. Normally I would have done this altar a few days ago, but I've been ill and things, so I kind of got a bit behind on myself. But today I'm going to do my Imbolc altar, which is tomorrow. But I thought I'd just show you the process. This is always my base. This is pretty much what it looks like underneath. Sorry, underneath. It's a bit sticky. I think it's somebody made this. I only paid £15 for this, and it's absolutely perfect. It's got a lid to it, which is where I keep all my bits and bobs. But everything I need is actually out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my altar cloth. I've got this one, which has got daisies on it. It's quite new actually. I got this one just recently. So I'm just going to put this on. Whoops. It's going to be, because this is just an old scarf, this. You can buy altar cloths. There's nothing wrong with that. I've bought altar cloths before. But you can use whatever feels right. So if you've got a nice scarf that you love and it's the appropriate colours, then use it. Oops. Okay. So just make sure that's nice and smooth. Nice pretty colours. Tomorrow is all about early spring, and for me, Brigid. So that's the first part. Then I have my trivet. It's just a little trivet. This is what I stand my goddess on, so I just stand at the back. Let's give her a bit of a dust. She's absolutely lovely. I bought 2 of these on a car boot in Devon. And I paid, was it Devon? Yes, it was Devon. I didn't pay a lot, and I bought 2. My sister has the other one, Raven Moon, and I absolutely love it. She represents Brigid for me, but I also will add, where is it? My other figurine. This is Brigid. She's really pretty. I'll put it in the link below on where this came from. But it came from Brigids Grove, and they're all handmade there, based in America, and they make different goddesses and gods as well now. So and they put all these little charms on them that are appropriate for that particular god or goddess. She's absolutely gorgeous, so I'll put her on there. We'll put a bit of corn on there, a bit of wheat, not corn, a bit of wheat. What else am I going to put? There are certain things that always go on my altar. This is my cat. This cat represents my familiar, who was my cat. Her name was Tibby, and she's been gone 11 years now. And although it doesn't look like her, that's who it represents, because she would always want to be in on the acts when I was doing things. My hair also goes in there. This came from Glastonbury and was bought by Raven Moon and her husband for me as a gift. That always goes on there. Then there's my elephant bell, which I absolutely love. It's absolutely beautiful. When I look at this, I always think of my nana, because she had a few. Unfortunately, they were lost. But absolutely beautiful. And they make a really nice sound. I've got a video further down with this. I will again reiterate that I am not a Wiccan, and so I lay out my altar the way I want to lay it. What goes on it is what I want to go on it. But I think that's the same for anybody, whether you're Wiccan or not. This is your space. This is your spiritual place where you come to do whatever you want to do. Whether it's meditation, when you're working with the spirits, whether you're working with the gods or goddesses, the elements, whatever you're doing, this is your space, and so it should represent you end your path as well. So don't worry about it. Most stuff when you go onto the internet and say how to set up your altar, it's set up for Wiccans, not anybody else. I'm a green witch, I am pagan, but I am not Wiccan. What else am I going to put on? My ivy leaf. I absolutely love this. It always goes on really pretty. I've got an oak leaf somewhere as well. I need to find this out. And one of my favourite dowsing crystals with amethyst on, which is one of Brigids stones. So that will go on there. It's also one of my favourite crystals. This is new, my lamb. Again, one of Brigids. It's also representative of Imbolc, because you do get your early spring lambs. And if anybody's been looking out, so, yeah, doesn't want to stand up. I think I'm going to try. Will it go on there? Will you go there? Can I swap you around? There you are. That's better. So I'll put my goddess at the bottom like that. Everybody's drunk. Lean you back a bit. Oh, do. That's the only thing, is they haven't got a very big base, and so they do topple sometimes. And this isn't quite even. My hazel wand, the hazel that came from my sister's garden. I don't really use wands, I have to admit. I tend to just use my hands and things when I do stuff. But I just like it. Then that's what this is all about. Can feel the energies from it. Even when I move it over, I can feel the energy in the palm of my hand. So they do extend your energy and things. It's just not something I always use. So that goes on there. I'm going to put my bee. And I know bees are not really representative in bulk, but it's kind of encouraging spring. A bit like we do when we have the winter solstice, and we put lights on things to encourage the light to come back. For me, this is encouraging spring, for the earth to wake up. So I'm going to put that on there. I do have some daffodils outside that are actually coming through in a pot, and I was considering fetching them in, but I decided against the idea simply because the temperature between outside and in here is quite big, and it would kill it, and I don't want to risk that. So I've got some silk snowdrops. I forgot the word. Some silk snowdrops. Silk snowdrops. Can't get the words out. They're not silk, they're just fabric. But this is actually a little bottle that I used, but I wanted something that was about the right size, because the vase that they were in is too big, to be honest, for my little altar. So that's just going to sit there. What else am I going to put on? I'm going to put on my incense holder. I tend to use this one. Oh, I'm going to make a shufti. Don't be worried about moving things around if you find things don't fit. It's not really important. Got that. Just knock that over, because I'm going to light some incense in there. Put it there. They don't actually match, they don't belong together, but when I found them in a charity shop, that's how they were, and I really liked it. It distributes really nicely. So it's obviously a little cauldron with that lid. They were married. I quite like it. Very happy with that. Then I'm going to put this on. More amethyst. I absolutely love this. So it just sits there. A bit of old wood. It came from Nottingham Forest. Again, my sister got me this. To me, that represents the past, history and things, where our roots are. It's absolutely beautiful. So lovely. So I'm just going to plop that there. My owl. I love having my owl on. Again, it's nothing to do with Imbolc, but for me it represents wisdom and knowledge and things. And seeking things out, looking and always moving forward. All these different little things that, for me, that's what personally what it represents. But again, it's not new. The newest thing on here is actually the cloth and my lamb. And then I'll just put on little bits and bobs. These I got at Christmas from my family. So they're going to go on, little hearts, things. These, absolutely lovely. So I'll put those on. To me, I said an altar should always represent you as a person, what you want to see. So it's a candle. I don't worry about it not being a new candle. I like stones, different stones. That's one that I've drawn on. I love having things like that on things that I found, little bits of nature. Excuse me. A shell from Devon, which is where I originally started. That's where I personally started. I was born in Devon, so part of my heart lies there as well. Another shell with little shells on top. It's gorgeous, absolutely lovely. Oh, where's my smudge? My smoking. I can't see it. What have I done with it? When you take things off and I put it down, I can't actually see it. Oh, it's over there. Can I get down? One moment. That's it. I'll plop this on. Put this on here as well. I'm going to swap that over. It's a bit. I always find my altar slightly cluttered. I have to remember to tidy it every so often because I'm always popping things on. If I'm doing anything in particular, if I'm working any magic, doing healing, anything like that, I have a tendency to put it on here. So it's not always a tidy altar. Altars don't always have to be tidy, so don't worry about it. Especially if they're a working altar. The last thing I'm going to put on, I made this a few years ago and I do reuse it, but when I light my incense, I'm going to cleanse it first. But this is my Brigids cross. And it's got little things written on the inside. I think I've got a little link somewhere of how these are made. But things like creativity, love, things that have meaning for me, happiness, prosperity. And that's not necessarily monetary prosperity, that's prosperity in all life. It's not always about money. So I'm going to plop that there. I keep saying plop, don't know why. Grab my lighter and grab some incense from my drawer. I'm going to, I think I've got some lavender. I think I've got some. Oh, hold on. No. Where's that box? No, I'm going to use some white sage. No, I'm going to use lavender. Very indecisive, that's me. Put you there, sorry. It's very funny actually because I've got a slightly different head on today because I also have another channel that's different to this one. It's a gaming channel because I'm also a gamer, and so I've still got my gaming head on, I think. Which is probably why I'm a little bit more upbeat than I usually am. Not that I'm not upbeat, but less serious than I usually am. So I'm going to light my incense, my lavender incense, and the candle. This is Brigid. I like this incense and candle in honour of you. So that's catch. When you cleanse things, you don't have to say anything. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Does that go now? But you can ask for the smoke to cleanse and purify all negativity. Listen with love, joy and happiness, whatever you want. And put my little bit of blue tack on the back again. That candle's hot. And I place it back here again, which is where it usually sits, slightly at an angle, so it fits in. Just to the back. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Oops, slight change of plan. I'll put the blue tack just to one side. I'm going to have it on the altar. Oops. Trying to unstick everything. I'm going to put it here. I put that for future bountiful harvests, is why that's on there. Your altar, as I said, for whatever reason, no matter what the celebration is, or you're just doing an altar, can be however you want it to be. Get back to this. I also like to cleanse my altar once I've done it. When it decides to light. Doesn't matter how long you excuse me. It doesn't matter how long you've been on your path. Things don't always go according to plan. So I'll take this. Now I'll cleanse everything on my altar. Sometimes I'll cleanse myself as well. Cleanse and purify my altar for the word that I do. Cleanse and purify myself. And just have a little bit of a quiet moment to relax. This is a good moment to sit here and think about the things that you want. We're at a part of the wheel where we're moving towards things growing, where the earth is reawakening, that nature is coming to life again. It's getting that little bit of a poke as the earth starts to warm. Doesn't feel it at the moment, but it really is. Buds are starting to show, some places are starting to break. Things like snowdrops are breaking through, some have already broken through and they're actually in flower. Our crocus is showing. I've seen places where daffodils are starting to come up. Mine are in leaf. They're not in flower bud yet, but I have seen some. So the earth is awakening. So it's a good time to think about growth. Your growth. Where you want to be. Where you want to go. If you have projects that need a little bit of a push, this is time to think about it. Very often people will write things down and put them in a plant pot and put in a seed within that plant pot. And so as that plant grows and progresses, so should the project that you're working on or a particular thing in your life. So it might be a relationship that is new and you want it to grow and you want it to grow in abundance and you want it to be good and you want prosperity and love and joy and happiness within that. And so you can write that all onto a piece of paper, plant it in a pot and put a seed of something that you love or a plant. You know, it doesn't need to be a seed. It can be a plant, just a small shrub, lavender, anything. Something that continues, not something that dies back, that dies away completely. But something, I say, like a lavender, daffodils, anything like that. Whatever feels right for you. Something that maybe represents that relationship, represents the purpose, represents this project. Do that. If you have any plans for tomorrow or this weekend for Imbolc, it doesn't need to be celebrated tomorrow. It can be whenever is appropriate for yourself. Always remember that. Imbolc is tomorrow, but it doesn't mean you have to do everything tomorrow. If Sunday is a better day for you, then do it Sunday. If Monday is a better day for you, do it on Monday. This is your path, nobody else's. So follow your heart and follow what feels right for you. I will share photographs of my altar on Twitter and Instagram, and those will also on my Facebook page as well. Share what you're wanting to do, what you plan to do for Imbolc in my comments below. That would be absolutely lovely. I'd love to read those. I do love reading people's comments, and I always leave a comment afterwards. I've had a few really lovely ones just recently, and really warmed my heart and made me smile. Subscribe would be amazing. Share my page, I'd absolutely love it. Share my channel, I would absolutely love that. I hope you all have a very blessed Imbolc this weekend. I hope whatever you wish for, whatever your plans are, that they grow in abundance and all your needs and your wants are fulfilled. So I shall sign off now. Blessings to you all. Merry meet, merry parts, and merry meet again.